author Qarnita Loxton's Being series has made her a household name, of course, in the literary world. And all her book reads, like The Best Friend You Want to Have, where Qarnita has a new book. It's called What's Wrong with June. It's a story about a married accountant who's channeling her inner Stella era in the new year and works on getting her groove back. June created a vision board that makes her excited about what is to come. But is the change good? Well, Qarnita is here to tell us a little bit more without giving too much away. Qarnita, good morning. Thanks for joining us at this hour. Congrats.
Thank you.
Beautifully written. The descriptive element, the words, the adjectives really drew me in. I know the places, the people, it really helped me to resonate with the character, understand. How fun was that process for you, immersing yourself in it?
Sure, it was extraordinarily fun. It was also quite a journey for myself because June is trying to find the thing that's going to help her make the most of her life. And, you know, that's something that when you're writing about, it's impossible not to think about it in terms of your own life also. So it was a lot of fun. It took a bit longer than I thought, but in the end, you know, once I got going, nothing could stop me.
Because it's set on the backdrop of post-COVID, obviously, and that's the reality that most of us can face. So the issues of mental health, perhaps also looking at where you are, boredom, anxiety, which comes through very, very early on in that first chapter even. Talk to us about those themes that you explore in the book.
Well, June is in her early 40s. She's a successful accountant. She's got a young adult daughter. She lives with her husband and with her mother-in-law, and she's dissatisfied. Nothing is massively wrong, but nothing is also massively right. And she spends too much time scrolling the Instagram feed of her friend Carla, who lives in Mauritius, and so she's dissatisfied with everything. And so New Year's Eve comes, and she listens to a guy on the radio who says, make the most of 2022.
Yes.
And she does. She does a vision board with all of the things that she thinks she should be doing. And she does some of them, and not all of them are so good.
Yes, and we'll get into some of that without getting away too much. I actually wanted to look at Mauritius. Are these places that you would have been to? Because the way you describe it and you draw a cinema, what would have gone into that research process for you?
Well, we did have a holiday to Mauritius.
Okay.
And so it became an excuse for a research trip. And so we went everywhere that June goes in the book. But we did also spend a lot of time just at the beach, just at the pool, eating a lot, swimming, all of the things that goes with holiday. And June really wants a holiday from her life. That's really the point of it.
The decisions that also come with that is the meeting of Elliot.
Yes.
I mean, there's two ways to look at how this interaction, you know, changes her life and whether it was the right thing or not.
Yeah.
How is it developing Elliot's character as well and just immersing yourself down that road?
Oh, Elliot is somebody that she meets just about on the beach, I suppose, in a hotel. And he is the opposite of her husband, and so also the opposite of the kind of person that she would normally be with. And so it seems like a perfect match, but nothing is ever as perfect as it seems. And so I can't say more about Elliot without saying too much about Elliot.
No, that's fine. Because What's Wrong with June in the Being series, talk to us about the differences in the approach, that process as well coming through for you.
Well, I guess the difference between the Being series and What's Wrong with June is that the Being series is a very strong friendship-based theme. So they're four friends, each of them have their own story and their own book, but they're very connected, they're very close to each other. And June is much more independent. She's got a close friend in Carla, she's got a husband, she's got a mother-in-law, she's got a daughter, but she is a very strong individual. She's not that connected. And it means that even though she's not thriving, she is surviving. And so I think for me, the big difference between the two of them, or these two series, I shouldn't say series for June, but you never know.
Well, maybe you're speaking things into existence.
Yes. The big difference is the one is very friendship, very group-based, and these lives are interwoven. And June is a very, very strong individual. She knows her own mind.
It was interesting for me because, you know, I think in a world that celebrates the highs and lows, it was interesting to come across a character that was dissatisfied with things just actually being normal and okay.
Yes.
So that was an internal conversation with myself as well. For you, undergoing that, I wonder if you could speak to, you know, how you would change through this entire process as well. And if you're going to be birthing these stories, how are you done learning that? Where is it coming from?
Sure. I think that, you know, when you write a story about making the most of life and about what's wrong with your actually perfectly okay life. It's hard not to think about your own life also. And so for me, I probably went into it knowing what the end is already for myself.
Okay.
And for me, that was all about personal relationships, about my family, about my children. And so nothing really changed in that process. So, you know, I ended knowing what I was starting with, or the other way around.
Okay, well, look,
Yeah.
it's full circle because
Yeah.
obviously now the offering is here. Perhaps for people who want to pick up the book
Yes.
and even the feedback that you've gotten
Yes.
from people who have read it, what do you want them to walk away with? What's also been evoked for some of those immersed in your work?
I think it's a very relatable book. We've all scrolled Instagram or Facebook at some time, and everybody else's life looks better. And so what I'd like people to take away from it is to know that behind the scenes nothing is perfect, and to look at your own life through your own lens and not to have comparison be the thief of joy. And so June finds happiness in small moments, and she doesn't have the answer, and I think that's okay.
Yes, because we're ever evolving, and
Yes.
I guess when we exit this world, that's when we find it, right? So,
Yes.
or a version of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the conversation there. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you so
us and
much.
for exploring this work. Thank you for blessing us and the literary world at
Oh,
large.
thank you.
Qarnita Loxton, really just joining us, chatting about her book, What's Wrong with June, of course, from her Being series as well, on the back of that. So we'll leave that conversation there and take a quick ad break. We'll be right back after this.